everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Teaching Tuesday. I'm very glad we got to be here tonight. This has been a whirlwind week, lots of things going on. Just so that everybody can kind of have an update, yesterday we had part of our statewide coordinated action. The New York State Poor People's Campaign decided that they wanted to have a response to the New York State budget. So all across the state we had places where rallies were happening so that we could have our say about that. In New York City, they met in front of the Golden Bull on Wall Street to talk about what Wall Street's role in all of this is. In Long Island, they met in front of a youth detention center where they hold kids as young as 10. In Albany, they marched to their local DSS building. And here in Elmira, we met in front of the Chemung County Jail. We said we don't want to be locked up in a system that's designed to forget about us. We demand to be remembered, and we will not be silent about that. We told them we want them to fight poverty and not the poor, because that's really the whole point of us all being here, right? You're knocking stuff over, don't mind me. So it was really exciting to be able to be a part of all of that. Our Facebook page had almost 1,000 touches before we left the front of the jail yesterday. So people all over the place were hearing what we had to say. A friend of mine happened to have been in the DA's office over on the other side of the jail, and he could hear everything we said. So if he heard us, that means the DA's heard us, that means the county courts heard us, the family courts heard us, the jail heard us, the sheriffs heard us. They all heard what we had to say this week. So that was really exciting. And there's other ways that they all get to hear what we have to say too. On April 5th, we're going to have a Poor People's hearing right here in Elmira. And we are going to talk about doing time in Elmira, because our theory is, if you're not in the Hill or you're not in Southport, the way things work out in our area here, we're kind of still locked up in that system. So we're going to bring them here and we're going to show them what that all means. So a part of that was really super exciting. The National Poor People's Campaign has offered to fly me to New York City tomorrow night so that on Thursday I could be part of a national press conference to tell them why we want them to come to Elmira and what we have to say about that. Unfortunately, the tragedy in New Zealand has caused a hiccup in that, so the press conference has been canceled, but I still get to go to New York City. I'm still going to get to hang out with Reverend Liz for Bible study. What? Reverend Liz? The O'Hara's for Bible study. So I get to do that. I will also get to take some historical information in from Wall Street. We're going to get together with the folks who are responsible for the music and movement arts within the national campaign, because they're going to be here the day of the hearing to help us sing some of these songs. I keep telling you I don't have a bucket big enough to carry that tune. They got folks with big old buckets that are going to come in and help us sing. So that's going to be really exciting too. Reverend Bell has asked me, since our hearing has been, our press conference was canceled, if I could share with you guys what I would have said if I would have gone to New York City.
Let me just give them or why we've got a situation that's forcing other people to use their employment space as a means of transferring abuse of poor people, and using that as a way of incarceration to do a number of things, to deny education, housing, the mentally ill that get locked up instead of having an opportunity of having some type of therapeutic support, and the list goes on. So we want to take a look at number one, taking the wool from over our eyes for this community so that they can see that the priority has not been us. We're spending way too much, and how can we be human in humane environments when the resources of freedom are just going out of the window into the pockets of a few people that's pimping Elmira like they're doing all over this country.
Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Thank you for that point. You're absolutely right. And that kind of goes in tune with what I was going to say. So, you guys ready? This is what would have happened in a perfect world. My hometown of Elmira is hosting a stop on this historic van tour. Did you want to hold that? I got it flipped around, so. My hometown of Elmira is hosting a stop on this historic van tour because we are the face of the real national emergency. Our city was designed to ensure that those who were sent here would be locked up and forgotten. During the Civil War, Elmira housed one of the most deadly Civil War prison camps in the North. We were known as the Death Camp of the North, the Andersonville Response, or as local residents still call it, Elmira. When the war ended, Elmira stayed in the business of the mass incarceration industrial complex. We are home to not one, but two maximum security facilities, one on either end of town. These are constant reminders of the systemic way that they profit off the people here who are locked up and forgotten. The law and order and tough-on-crime culture permeates the whole town. We elected the sheriff as our county executive, and while our county has 1 out of 4 of its citizens living in poverty, he is fighting and suing the legislature. Our hockey team, the Elmira Enforcers, with a mascot who personifies almost every negative stereotype in law enforcement, they got into a bar fight in a local bar where somebody ended up in ICU a month after they became a team. Last week they hit the news again because their owner and management were slapped with a huge fine because they got into a fight on the ice during a game that caused 911 to be called and the police to come out. All of this, though, is just a distraction. We have people in this city who are suffering from injustice and inequality. We are a hot spot for lead poisoning. Our schools have dismal grades, poor proficiency, and a strong and effective school-to-prison pipeline. We only graduate 62% of our seniors, and that is robbing our children of the opportunity to escape. We were recently called out in the national media as being one of only 2 cities in the country who are still in recession. While the country plays to its job creators, Elmira's numbers have gone down. Our production of goods and services has declined every year since 2012. We have a dismal health ranking, and we have shocking numbers of teen pregnancies. While we continue to hire school resource officers instead of social workers, we also make headlines not long ago because we were #1 in the country for prescription opioid abuse. The evils of oppression are trying to silence us, but we will not be silent and we will not be forgotten. That's what New York would have heard. They're lost, right? Absolutely. Thank you, guys.